Welcome. If you need some support, head over to my website and check out my offerings, including my donation based products, and access my free IFS guided meditations. Additionally, if you're finding this podcast helpful, consider making a tax deductible gift to help keep IFS accessible to all. And you can do all of this at faithfullygrowing.com. Welcome back to IFS Meditations and Insights. I'm Tim Fortescue, your guide on this journey, here to help foster spiritual wholeness and healing through the lens of internal family systems. In this caring space, we aim to dive into self-discovery and inner knowledge. I truly believe that when we accept all parts of ourselves, we're able to experience deep love and live more fully. I'm thankful to be on this journey with you and to be a part of this community as we follow the path to inner peace and sacred connection. So settle in, open up your heart and mind, and let's begin another episode. In this episode, I'm going to guide you in a meditation focused on embracing those more vulnerable and wounded parts and just checking in with them to let them know that there's hope for healing. And I want you to be aware of those parts that respond to those younger wounded parts that have been protecting them, doing the best that they can, doing all they know how to do to protect those younger, more vulnerable parts. But those parts that are doing the protecting are young too. And we'll, of course, be using the internal family systems approach. As we begin, find a comfortable position, either sitting or lying down. You can gently close your eyes, but if you prefer, you can just let your gaze rest softly in front of you. And take a few deep breaths, allowing yourself to settle into the present moment. As you continue to breathe deeply, turn your attention into your internal world, your body. Notice any areas of tension and allow them to relax. Feel the support of the surface beneath you, grounding you in the present. Let's continue our journey inward. And imagine that you're entering a peaceful, safe space within your mind, whatever that means for you. A place where you can connect with your inner world in safety and where you can feel safe to extend a little compassion or curiosity. In this safe space, bring to mind a recent experience where you felt vulnerable or hurt. Think of a specific situation or person that triggered these feelings. Allow yourself to recall this moment. Just notice what parts arise. We just want to be curious here. And as gentle as you can, acknowledge the presence of the feelings that arise. Those thoughts, feelings, actions, impulses, parts can surface in many ways. And as gentle as possible, acknowledge the presence of the parts that arise. Those thoughts, feelings, actions, impulses, beliefs. You might say something like, I see you, and I understand that you're trying to protect me. Notice how these parts respond to your acknowledgement. Often just recognizing their presence can bring a sense of relief. And check in with those protectors and see if it's okay to go a little deeper and identify some of the parts that they may be protecting that feel vulnerable or wounded. But let those parts that have been working so hard to keep us safe for many, many years in many cases know that we honor them. We can't bypass them. But things are different now, and they may be surprised at what happens. There may be a better way so they don't have to work so hard. And if there's any hesitation, don't go any further. Just stay and be with these protective parts and hold space for them. But if they are okay with you going forward, we're not going to go deep here. Just a few more minutes of curiosity. Turn to the more vulnerable or wounded parts and see where you notice them in or around your body. Is there a sensation? Or maybe there is a visual like a young part in the corner of a room. These parts might carry past hurts, fears, or insecurities. And as you sense into those younger parts, how are you feeling toward them? And those more protective parts may be jumping in and have some fears. Turn back and address those. But if you can extend some compassion to these younger, what are sometimes called inner child parts, allow these parts to come forward and be witnessed without judgment. And if you can, extend some curiosity and maybe ask them, what do you need? I'm here. You're not alone. And it may have been a long time since they've been acknowledged, so just being in your presence for a bit may be close to overwhelming them, and they may not have anything to say. Let them know that's okay. Just take a moment to hold space, to hear if there are things to hear, what these parts have to say, maybe their stories. Just listen compassionately. And let these parts know that they're valid. It makes sense that they may be surprised by your presence because it may have been a long time. And really see if you can tap in and mean this, but let these younger exiled parts that have been pushed down for a long time, know that you're not going to forget about them. They're stuck in the past. They don't have to stay there. There's hope. There's a future that they can be a part of, and that you can share more about that with them if they'd like that. And maybe let them know when. And reassure these younger parts that can tend to have wounds and be vulnerable that you, who you are today, are in charge and capable. You appreciate them. You need them. They make you who you are today. Even some of those challenging stories have given you the grit to be who you are today. That you're committed to their well-being. And see if there's anything else before you say goodbye for now. And thank these younger parts for their courage, for as much or as little as they shared. It takes a lot. They did it. Even if it was just being in your presence for a bit. And then turn back to the parts that have been watching after these younger, more vulnerable parts for a long time. Thank them for their courage, for as much or as little as they shared. And if they were able to let you engage with these parts that are younger, tend to just want to be held and loved, thank them for that. See if there's anything else. Just notice any shifts in how you feel toward any of these parts. Is there a shift in the dynamic between those that are younger, more wounded? Those wounds are not who they are. It's where the healing and the hope comes in. Is there a shift in the dynamic between them and those that work so hard to protect them? Perhaps they feel more seen and understood. Perhaps they're more relaxed and more willing to cooperate, which make your whole system more relaxed. And as we conclude this meditation, take a few deep breaths, grounding yourself in the present moment. And remind all your parts that you can return to this place anytime that you need to, or that they may want to connect with you, and maybe let them know when you'll do that. And when it feels complete, for now, you can gently bring your awareness back to your body, wiggle your fingers and toes. And when you feel ready, slowly open your eyes if they were closed. Thank you so much for your courage and for your trust in joining me for this meditation. Remember, understanding and embracing your vulnerabilities is an ongoing journey. Be kind to yourself, because this in particular, with these vulnerable parts, it's deep work. They've been buried for a long time. So be kind and continue to nurture your inner world with curiosity and compassion. And take care. That wraps up another episode of IFS Meditations and Insights. If you found it useful, please share and leave a positive review to help others find the podcast. For more content, visit blog.faithfullygrowing.com for a free categorized list of meditations and insights and podcast episodes. As always, your thoughts on the podcast are welcome. Send me an email with thoughts or questions to tim@faithfullygrowing.com. Thank you again for being part of this community. Remember to be compassionate to yourself and others, and I look forward to our next session. And until then, take care, stay curious, and embrace all parts of your journey.